writer and broadcaster.
Can you hear me? I find it rather hard to hear some of the speakers back on the platform. Is this all right? I'm a Tory journalist and not normally far right-wing Tory journalist, actually, and not normally expected on a platform like this. But I felt it was important to attend today and speak out against what is, I think, almost really the last socially acceptable form of bigotry in Britain today. It is permissible at present in the British press to make up lies about Muslims, to fabricate stories about Muslims, effectively to encourage violence against Muslims. We have in the audience today Bob Lambert, and who with Jonathan Gibbons-Murtha did a fantastic study of this press conspiracy against Muslims, and in a very telling section of that study they examined the evidence that this license really to fabricate stories about Muslims could lead to actual physical attacks on Muslims. And this is very, very troubling. It's actually shocking. It shames us as a society. At various times in British history, minorities have been singled out for hatred and opprobrium. If you go back before World War I, in the 1930s, very often the victims was another minority, the Jews. The blood libels were spread against them, the physical attacks happened, anti-Semitism was rife, not just at the highest end of British society where Jews weren't allowed into posh clubs, but or golf courses, but on the streets where they couldn't walk safely. Then the Irish, as the speaker today was reminding us. No dogs or Irish, please. It's said in British boarding houses. Blacks. Remember that? Naked racism. Homosexuals. Homosexuals just smeared. Culture where they couldn't walk proudly down the street, where their very nature was ridiculed, humiliated, denied by the society in which they lived. All of that shamed Britain. Today, the victims of this are the fashionable objects of opprobrium, very often are Muslims. I said at the beginning of this that I am a Tory journalist. I'm very, very proud to be British. I'm very, very proud of what Britain stands for. But it is true that over the last 10 years or so, I have followed the exactly opposite trajectory of quite a number of left-wing journalists. I supported the Cold War against the Soviet Union. I thought that CND was a well-motivated but extremely naive organisation, which objectively brought comfort to Soviet communism. But I was on the opposite side of the barricades to Mr. Nick Cohen or Mr. David Aronovich or Mr. Christopher Hitchens over the over the Cold War. But the war on terror has changed something in British society. The three gentlemen I've just mentioned set off on their trajectory to the right. And I like to think that I stayed exactly where I was, believing in tolerance believing in decency, believing that one of the greatest things about Britain is that we support the rights of minorities, that fairness is the senior doctrine of our society. And that's what I think has gone wrong, one of the things that have gone wrong in the last 10 years. And it just became apparent to me, as a working journalist, that it was permissible to fabricate again and again and again. There's one story I investigated. It was the front page splash on the Sun newspaper that there was and other newspapers, that there was a conspiracy to bomb Manchester United football ground, Old Trafford. I went up, the suspects were held, they were so held for its maximum time, I think it was then 14 days. There was no evidence against them, these were Kurds who fled from Sudan. And I sat in a hotel room talking to them, these utterly innocent men, whose lives had been destroyed by fabrications in newspapers, who were ashamed, who couldn't walk the streets because their lives had been destroyed. All I could do was apologise to them on behalf of Britain. These were people who'd come to Britain for peace and security, fleeing from Saddam Hussein. And what have we done? It's smeared. We've made their lives intolerable. There are so many other stories like that. And as I say, I'm very, very, very proud to be British. We stand for tolerance, freedom, fairness. And the way that Muslims are currently treated in this society is very un-British. We're betraying ourselves and everything we stand for by the way in which we currently treat Muslims. Thank you.